जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंसकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की, नाम आचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the morning Bhagavatam class today. So today we are reciting the verse from Canto 3, chapter 24. And we are covering the two verses, text 7 and text 8. Text 7 doesn't have any purport, and we are taking text 8 as well. It has a little small purport. Let's see how much we can discuss here. So text 7, please repeat with me. Avadayam stada vyomni vaditrani ghana ghana gayanti tamsma gandharva nityanti apsaraso muda. Avadayam stada vyomni vaditrani ghana ghana gayanti tamsma gandharva nrityanti apsaraso muda. Avadayam stada vyomni vaditrani ghana ghana gayanti tamsma gandharva nityanti apsaraso muda. Vaditrani gana ganaha Avadayam sada vyomni vaditrani gana gana gayanti tamsma gandharva nityanti apsaraso muda. Avadayam stada vyomni vaditrani gana gana gayanti tamsma gandharva nityanti apsaraso muda. Okay, word to word meaning. Avadhayan sounded, tada at that time, vyomni in the sky, vaditrani musical instruments, gana gana the rain clouds, gayanti sang, tam to him, sma certainly, gandharva the gandharvas, nityanti danced, apsarasaha the apsarasas, muda in joyful ecstasy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. At the time of his descent on earth, please repeat with me. At the time of his descent on earth, demigods in the form of raining clouds sounded musical instruments in the sky. The celestial musicians, the Gandharvas, sang the glories of the Lord, while celestial dancing girls, known as Apsarasa, danced in joyful ecstasy. Okay, I'll read the text 8, the purport, translation and purport. Petu sumana sudhivya kecharair apavarjita praseduscha disha sarva ambhabni cha manasmi cha. Petu fell sumanasa flowers divya beautiful ka chere by the demigods who fly in the sky. Apavarjita dropped. Prasedu became satisfied. Cha and disha directions. Sarva all. Ambamsi waters. Cha and manasmi mind. Cha and. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. At the time of Lord's appearance, the demigods flying freely in the sky showered flowers, all the directions, all the waters, and everyone's mind became very satisfied. Purport. It is learned herewith that in the higher sky, there are living entities who can travel through the air without being hampered. Although we can travel in our outer space, we are hampered by so many impediments, but they are not. We learn from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam that the inhabitants of the planet called Siddhaloka can travel in space from one planet to another without impediment. They showered the flowers on the earth when Lord Kapila, the son of Kardama, appeared. So, Mangalarcharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Kshurudmiltam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Jai Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome once again. So before starting today, just we'll briefly revise what we discussed till now, till this verse. So we have been reading the pastimes of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So Kardama Muni did his tapasya for 10,000 years at Bindu Sarovar. And after seeing this tapasya, Lord Vishnu was very happy and he appeared. And he already knew the intention of the Kardama Muni. So he had to mention that within 2 days, Swayambhuva Manu will come and he will hand over his daughter Devahuti to Kardama Muni. So as per the Vishnu's instructions, the same Swayambhuva Manu came and he handed over Devahuti to Kardama Muni. And the Devahuti served Kardama Muni selflessly, without bothering about her health. She continuously served Kardama Muni. After seeing her serving selfless for a long time, so Kardama Muni started showing compassionate to nature. He was very compassionate towards Devahuti, and he, with his mystic power, he created a big aerial mansion, and they started creating progeny. So they blessed with 9 daughters, and based on his initial advice that as soon as he gets children, he will take the sannyasa. That was the Kardama Muni's instructions to Devahuti and the Brahma and Swayambhuva and everyone. So he wanted to leave hermitage and he wanted to go for taking sannyasa. But then Devahuti started speaking her mind, and she was lamenting. But when she was associating with Kardama Muni, she was thinking that she missed the opportunity and get into association, and she was not, now she was in a state where she's fearful. Like now she's looking for the state where she would be fearless in future. So considering that situation, the Kardama Muni instructed that very soon the Supreme Lord will be appearing as a son of Devahuti and Kardama Muni, and with then Kardama Muni will leave for forest taking sannyas, and the Kapila, the son is the Kapila Dev, Kapila Muni, and he will be giving the instructions to Devahuti. With that, she will be in a fearless state. Generally, the fearless state will happen whenever we are in a fully transcendental platform. So that was the Kardama Muni's plan. So in today's verse, that's now as per the previous predictions, the Lord is appearing in the womb of, he entered into the womb of Devahuti. Now very soon he's going to appear on this earth planet. So by seeing that the Lord is already there in the Devahuti's womb, so the demigods, all the demigods started glorifying Supreme Lord. That's where in the verse 7th, it was mentioned that all the Gandharvas were glorifying the Lord. Apsarasas was dancing. And in the next verse, it was mentioning that the flowers were showered from the sky. The celestial Siddhaloka people, traveling in the sky, and they are showering flowers and water. So this is how the demigods are enjoying the appearance of Kapila Dev, the Lord appearance as a Kapila Dev, sage Kapil. So in the translation, if you see the text 8, it was mentioned that at the time of Lord's appearance, the demigods flying freely in the sky showered flowers, all the directions, all the waters, and everyone's mind became very satisfied. And if you see the purport also, it is learned here with that in the higher sky, there are living entities who can travel through the air without being hampered. Although we can travel in outer space, we are hampered by so many impediments, but they are not. So let's briefly spend some time on this thing, understanding. See, what Prabhupada was mentioning in this verse is in the celestial beings, like Siddhaloka and higher planet people, they can travel in the sky from one planet to another planet without any impediment, without any difficulty. Now, let's see how it is happening in this current material world. Even current many are so-called advanced countries like America, Russia, and in India also, they are in the space programs. So they are also trying to send many, if you see the last year, one interesting thing happened. There are two companies in America, US. One is Virgin Galactic. It's owned by the billionaire Richard Branson. He's a UK billionaire. He's a owner of the Virgin Group. You must be familiar with the Virgin Group of companies. So he's the owner of Virgin Group. And he started a space program long back. And he designed a spaceship. His company designed a spaceship, Virgin Galactic. And they sent the purpose of the spaceship is it traveled outer space. Outer space means it's beyond the Earth atmosphere. So once you reach beyond the Earth atmosphere, all the gravity doesn't work, you will feel weightless state. And they wanted to start like a commercial program, where it's like a commercial tourist program kind of thing, where whoever is interested, they will be paying some money, and they will be getting the opportunity to travel to the outer space. They feel weightless state, and they will, again, the spaceship will bring back them to the Earth. So they started, first time they did last year, and even the owner, the Richard Branson also, he went in the spaceship. And he went there, and they, in the social media, everywhere, they put the videos, and everybody started feeling amazing. They were very wondering how they were able to, at the age of 70, he went to the outer space, and everybody was like astonished, amazing, they were wonderful, they were feeling it's very wonderful, and they were amazed. After a few weeks later, there was one more company in US, that is Blue Origin. The owner is Jeff Bezos. He's the owner of Amazon. What he did, he also landed similar kind of program. What is Blue Origin is this company. So he also designed a spaceship. And that spaceship also, same manner, like he will take some tourists, he will go to the outer space, they will experience weightless state, and they will take videos, photos, and they'll upload it to social media, and they'll showcase that, okay, they traveled into the outer space. That is what they have been doing. And there is one controversy between these two companies as well. As per American Army standards, the outer space starts from the 88 miles from the sea level. That is, so the Virgin Galactic followed that process. So they took the outer space starts from the 80 miles from the sea level. Whereas the international standards is a Kármán line, which starts from 100 miles from the ground level. So the Virgin Galactic took the base as 88 miles, 88 kilometers, and whereas the Blue Origin, the Jeff Bezos company, they took the 100 kilometers. So in a thing, they were having the argument, no, we are actually traveled into the outer space as per the international standards. The Virgin Galactic is not actually real outer space experience they didn't get. So these was all contradictions they were happening. So after all, what they did, they traveled just 100 kilometers from the sea level. That is feel it as a so-called advancement. But if you see this verse, what is mentioned here, all the Siddhaloka planets, they are continuously traveling in the planet, one planet to other planet. Right? This is quite normal in that time. But we are spending so much money, so much time, everything, but finally the experience we get is very minute, very minimal, very small. But in the, like when we see the Kardama Muni, he created big aerial mansion. And the pillars itself made with so much costly marbles. And it's bedecked with the costly jewels. Right? It's a big aerial mansion. But how these spaceships, it can accommodate 3-4 people. But the Kardama Muni created big space aerial mansion. So we can see our Vedic times, our scriptures are saying this is nothing new. The so-called advancement, whatever we are thinking, it's not new. It's already existing it's clearly mentioned in our scriptures. So that's where when we see that although we can travel in outer space, we are hampered by so many impediments. Yes, as we mentioned by Prabhupada, yes, in order to conduct the spaceship, they have been doing the research for so many years. After after spending so much money, so much time, the Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin companies, they started sending spaceship to the outer space. But there's so much, even not only that, still the many countries like US, America, India and Russia, they are very strong in space programs. They are still trying to send the spaceships to the different planets. Like India tried to the Mars, and they spent so much money. Compared to the money they spent, it is less than US, but they were able to successfully send into the rocket to the Mars. But they could not land the robo into the Mars surface. But whereas US, they sent landed the rover, they call rover. So it was landed on the Mars surface. So they feel this is what they are doing. Still, they didn't send anyone, neither any of the countries, they didn't send any persons to the different planets. But we can see from our scriptures, it was quite common in those days, going from one planet. Even Kardama Muni traveled same thing with his aerial mansion. He was traveling one planet to other planet. So this is what we can understand from this purport. I thought we will touch this thing. We compare how the current so-called advanced technology is, what it is doing, and what our Vedic times, how they have been doing this kind of. I thought briefly I'll compare this. Now, this purport is very small, but still we have some few points to discuss. Now, the demigods are offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. So when he is appearing when he entered into the womb of Devahuti, and when he is about to take birth on the earth, so they started glorifying the Supreme Lord. If you see in our Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are many other instances where similar thing happened. When before Supreme Lord is taking birth, on the earth, he entered into the womb of Devaki, and then he appeared as a Krishna, Supreme Lord Krishna, on the earth. There also, when Devaki was in the jail of Kamsa, the demigods like Brahma, Shiva, and many other demigods entered into the jail. They offered prayers. So not only that, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you see, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took birth, when the Supreme Lord entered in the womb of Sachimata, there also demigods coming and started offering prayers. So in line to the same thing, again when Supreme Lord is appearing as a Kapila Muni, here also demigods started offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. Now, Generally, when we hear many pastimes from our scriptures, Bhagavatam and other scriptures, we get some kind of opinion on the demigods, like demigods are not the serious devotees, kind of thing. So when we see Brahma Vimohan Leela, Brahma suspected whether he is a supreme lord or not. Similarly, Indra, he did Govardhan Leela. With pride, he would not recognize Krishna. He tried to harm the people in Vraja. And Krishna lifted Govardhan, we know the pastime. So that these leelas, sometimes we get the impression that the demigods are not very serious devotees. But when we analyze these prayers, what kind of prayers they are offering to Supreme Lord, we understand their real position of the demigods. Like if you see in the Krishna, when the Krishna is taking birth in the Kamsa's jail, the Brahma, Shiva, Narada, and many other demigods went into the jail in the invisible form, so that Kamsa cannot see. And they started offering prayers to Supreme Lord. If we analyze the prayers, what they offered, and some of the things, we understand their position. The first prayer they started is, Krishna is, Supreme Lord is truthful to his vows. So that's what the demigods are claiming, offering as part of prayers, they are saying, Krishna is truthful to his vows. In the Bhagavad Gita, we know the famous verse, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Krishna mentioned that I appear Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the sadhus, vinashaya chadushkritam, to kill the miscreants, the demons. I will appear to establish dharma. He will appear again and again. So now in the Kamsa's jail, these demigods were praying to the Lord that he was truthful to his vows. How we can understand? Even Kamsa was creating so much disturbance in the society. He was doing so many atrocities. He's killing small children, thinking that he would be the Krishna, right? He did so many atrocities and he's disturbing the society. And demigods were praying Krishna to that, so he will appear and kill them. So then now when the Krishna entered into womb of Devaki, they were feeling very happy. Seeing this, they are saying that Krishna is, Supreme Lord is truthful to his vows. And the next one is, they know very clearly about the Krishna's position. So we know that absolute truth can be realized in 3 levels. If you see the verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, Vandantita tattva tattvam yajnanam avayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabjate, right? So the absolute truth can be realized in 3 levels. One is Brahman level, second one is Paramatma, and third one is Krishna, the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan, right? So demigods clearly know that absolute truth is Krishna. So reaching to that level, absolute, reaching the understanding of the Bhagavan level and getting the knowledge and seeing that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, it's not easy. Many people can go up to Brahman level. Some people can go up to Paramatma realization. But it's not possible for everyone to see that the Krishna is a Supreme Lord. Very sincere devotees, pure devotees can only get this kind of realization. Right? And the demigods are offering these prayers that Supreme Lord Krishna is, absolute truth is Krishna. And they also talk about Krishna's form. So there are many people will understand Krishna. Some people, impersonals, will say Krishna doesn't have any form, but very few people will say Krishna is having the form. And again, there is a confusion. Supreme Lord will take many incarnations: Rama, Narsimha, Varaha. So they will have this form. Krishna's form means they will get only these forms. But what is the actual form of Krishna in Goloka? This 2-handed form of Krishna, right? That understanding, not even the devotees also, after some advancement, they will realize that, okay, Krishna is a form, and he is having 2 hands, and he will be living in Goloka, always in the youthful form, right? These all things will get. So the demigods are having these. These are the prayers offered in the Kamsa's jail by all the demigods, headed by Brahma, Shiva, Narada, and all other demigods. So they know that Krishna is having a form with like how we have 2 hands, 2 legs. The Krishna in Goloka also will be having 2-handed form. He's always you look like a 16 years old boy. So that knowledge also demigods are having in this. Not only that, Suppose now the Krishna is having the form. When we meditate on those form, what will happen? They also know the advantage and benefit of praying the Supreme Lord form. So they clearly say that when we worship the Supreme lotus feet of Supreme Lord, we will cross over this material ocean. We will come out of the repeated birth and death. We will be coming out of this material entanglement. So the demigods offering the prayers as part of their prayers, they are saying this. Not only that, if some of the people, devotees say Krishna is a personal, having some personal form, but impersonalists will say Krishna doesn't have any form. So the demigods saying that impersonalists who doesn't believe the Krishna's form, who meditate on void, they will never cross over this material and ocean. So these are all the things the demigods were saying. And they are also praising the beauty of the Krishna. I'll read out this. Dear Lord, when you appear in your different incarnations, you take different names and forms according to different situations. Lord Krishna is your name because you are all attractive. You are called Shyamasundara because you are transcendental beauty. Although you appear in color which is compared to the blackish cloud, because you are the transcendental absolute, your beauty is many, many times more attractive than the body of Cupid. Sometimes you are called Giridhara because you lifted the hill known as Govardhan. You are sometimes called Nandanandana or Vasudeva or Devaki Nandana because you appear as a son of Maharaja Nanda or Vasudeva or Devaki. So these are all the things, this is how they are glorifying. And the one more thing they are in as part of the prayers they are offering is demigods saying that how we can understand Krishna. By reading scriptures, by mental speculation, we cannot understand Krishna. What is the ultimate thing we have to do to understand Krishna? We have to do the devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord. So demigods are saying that these are only the devotional service to the Supreme Lord can reveal us His form, His quality, His nature, His pastimes, everything. Only the devotional service can reveal us all these details. No other way we can get the knowledge on the Supreme Lord. So, not only that, there is no difference between the Lord and His form, Lord name and His form. So, Lord name and form are identical because the transcendent absolute, Krishna is absolute, so that's why there is no difference between His form and name. But so-called the material people, we think the name is different, particular object is different. But in the absolute platform, the name and form are both are same. These are all the things, these are some of the points which I wanted to highlight. When we analyze these points, it clearly shows that their position, demigod's position. Though we can, in some cases, they may be as part of their work, their nature of work. Because if you see the demigods and the Supreme Lord relation, the entire cosmic manifestation is headed by Supreme Lord. There are various departments were headed by different demigods. As part of their work, they will be doing some work which doesn't look like a devotional way. But their nature, they're always like, if you see the Yamaraj, he's the head, he's in charge for punishing the people who are doing the sinful activities. But he's one of the Mahajan. Similarly, Brahma is a creator of the universe. But he is also devotee of the Lord. So there are all the demigods, all these demigods are very great devotee. So what they know that Krishna is absolute truth. They know that they mentioned it's a Satyam Param Krishna. When they are offering the prayers to Krishna, they use the word Satyam Param. So there is an absolute truth. Krishna is absolute truth. And so he is having the form. If we meditate on form, we'll cross over material ocean. And if you have to understand Krishna's, if you have to understand if you have to get the knowledge on Krishna, we need to devotional service. These are all the various aspects the demigods are mentioning in these prayers. So, not an ordinary person cannot do all these things unless if you are a pious person or the devotee, you will not be able to get this kind of knowledge. So, this shows that they are these demigods are the great devotees of the Lord. And if we see Chaitanya Charitamrita, same thing. Like before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking birth on this Navadvipa, the so-called in the Vedic times we have a Sanatana Dharma, Bhagavad Dharma, but nobody was following this. At the time when before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was appearing on Navadvipa, No, but everyone is following the religion. Nobody is following the proper Sanatana Dharma or Bhagavad Dharma. They do some Hatha Yoga or they do some pujas or some do, but they call it as a Dharma. So whatever they feel they wanted to do, they will do it. They started claiming it as a Dharma. So it is irreligiosity was increasing. And before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was appearing on this earth planet. And Advaita Acharya, he was the combination of both Vishnu and Sadashiva. He prayed Supreme Lord with Salagrama Shila and he offered the Ganges water and he prayed to Krishna. He knows that when Vishnu appears, he will give only, kill the demons and he will give liberation. But in the Kali Yuga people are so much degraded. Only we cannot kill all the people in the Kali Yuga. Right? There is no point. Only option is we have to transform the people. They have to change the people. That can happen only through Krishna Bhakti. Only through Krishna. So that's why he started praying to Krishna to appear on this earth planet. So now, once the Supreme Lord, after all the prayers of Advaita Acharya and all we know in the Chaitanya Charitamrita various reasons, both external and internal reasons for appearing, we will not go into those details. But once Supreme Lord entered into the womb of Sachi Mata, there also demigods started coming, visiting their place and offering Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya or Jaya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrunda. All those bhajans they are glorifying with those things. And they themselves mentioned that they are demigods, they are devotees from the higher planets. And they wanted to, because they also know that Vishnu is only can give liberation. But this avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very special. It's freely giving the Krishna Bhaima to everyone. So these are all the demigods having this knowledge. So these are the words spoken by demigods. So they were clearly saying that, and they also mentioned to the Sachi Mata that they are they live in higher planets, they are the devotees of the Lord. And they are having, they were mentioning that as part of their prayers to the Supreme Lord, they are mentioning that mainly they are having two problems. One, so their heavenly planets will be attacked by demons like Ravana, Bali Maharaj. Many other demons will keep on attacking. And they will have a fight with them. Either they will conquer these heavenly planets, the demons, or sometimes these demigods will win. So this is an ongoing process, regularly it's happening. Now other things, the heavenly planets, the demigods will have so much opulence. They will have beautiful rivers, beautiful locations, and apsaras. Everyone were there. So with that, what their mood will be? Like they are always in the mood of sense gratification. They are not having the opportunity to do the devotional service. This is what the demigods were mentioning. So now they were fed up with this kind of atmosphere in the heavenly planets. Either always fighting with the demons or having having the sense gratification activity. So they were praying the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is in the womb of Sachi Mata, that they wanted to have the Krishna Bhakti. So they were praying to Supreme Lord to give the Krishna Bhakti, so that they can progress in their devotion. That is their mood of the demigods when they are offering prayers to, when the Supreme Lord entered in the womb of Sachi Mata, when he is about to appear as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the mood of demigods in that pastime. So similarly, when we see if you see the previous two cases, Krishna is killing Kamsa. He was coming to appearing taking incarnation to kill Kamsa. In the second case, he wanted to give Krishna Bhakti. Now, in the case of in today's instance, in this verse, sage Kapila Muni is appearing on the earth planet, and he is already entered in the womb of Devahuti. But here also, demigods are offering prayers. What he is going to do as a Supreme Lord? What is his mission here? So in the subsequent verses we learn, but briefly I will discuss. So in the material world, people are materially entangled. It means people do so much hard work to get some benefit. They want to see the results of their hard work. And they will again keep on increasing their hard work to get more and more sense enjoyment, more and more results. So what will happen as part of this process? The karma works, right? As and when you do some activity, you need to take another birth to fulfill counter the reaction of that activity. So this way, you are entangled in this material world. So the Kapila Muni is coming down and coming out to remove this material entanglement nature by giving the knowledge, the Sankhya philosophy. So that is his mission. So these are all the three different examples where the demigods were offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. With when we analyze these prayers, we understand their position. They are not just not ordinary persons, they are devotees of the Lord. They have clear knowledge how we can please the Supreme Lord and how we can move on to our devotional path. And in Bhagavad Gita, the chapter 7, we have the verse, Chaturvija bhajante mam, jana sukritu arjuna, arto jignasir arthati, jnanaichacha bharatarshaba. There are 4 kind of people who worship Supreme Lord. So who are this? Those distressed, the desire of wealth, inquisitive, and who is searching for the knowledge of absolute. These are the 4 kind of people who worship the Supreme Lord. So when we did these 3 pastimes of the demigods, so which category we can see the demigods fit in? One is distressed, desire of wealth, inquisitive, and who is searching for knowledge of absolute. Which we can think of? In which category? Sorry? First one, yeah, the distressed. Because we know, Kamsa, in the case of Kamsa, they were very much worried about Kamsa's activities. They are in distress. So these are the 4 kind of people. So we can see the demigods are falling it. If you see the translation, it was mentioned, O best among Bharatas, the 4 kind of pious men being to render devotional service unto me. So this was referring to the pious men. So these demigods, we can see it as a pious men. Sorry. And the next one, now demigods are very clear about their position. But in our material world, still people worship demigods, right? Without lack of knowledge, lack of real knowledge, they don't know the difference between the Supreme Lord Krishna and other gods, right? And people worship different gods, demigods, due to lack of knowledge. In the Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, it is clearly mentioned that Yanti Deva Vrata Deva, Pitrin Yanti Pitru Vrata, Bhutani Yanti Bhutejo, Yanti Mat Yajinopi Mam. So what he said, if you worship demigods, you will take birth in a demigod's planet. If you worship Pitru, you will get birth in Pitruloka. If you worship Bhutas, you will get in Bhutaloka, whatever the planet is designated for Bhutas. And if you worship me, Krishna is saying, then you will come back to my abode. So this is a clear, it's clearly mentioned. If you worship in demigods, you will not go back to Goloka. You will be going only to the demigod's planet, whichever demigod you are worshipping. Not only that, when we see, we have to understand, some people will be worshipping demigods, but who are the demigods? As we discussed earlier, so demigods are the various in charges for the various departments in the cosmic manifestation. Different demigod divisions are there. Some people will take of rain, some people will take of clouds, each demigod is taking care of different departments. So when you worship these demigods were empowered by Supreme Lord. So when you worship the demigod, the result will be offered, these demigods will be offering whatever you offered, that will be offered to Supreme Lord. But these worshippers of demigod, they don't know the supreme position. So they still will be at the demigod worship level only. They will not go beyond. Though the demigods will offer the results to the Supreme Lord, but these people mindset is still, they'll stuck at the demigod worship level. And if you see when we were reading the previous chapters, before the Varaha, Hiranyakashipu was killed by Varaha pastimes, there also Hiranyaksha went to Varun Dev first. And then what Varun Dev told? I am very old, I can't fight with you. Go and fight with Vishnu, is the right person to fight with you, right? So even that Varun Dev, this is an example to showcase that the demigods are very clear on their position. But we will stuck at the demigod worship and we will not be moving ahead. And one more thing is, there is no competition between the demigods and Krishna. So if you are worshipping, like some people may think that, okay, I'm worshipping Krishna, and this person is worshipping Shiva, and other person is worshipping Indra, like that, right? But people may think in the competition mode, like, okay, my God is great, and I'm worshipping this God, he is great, and other person is worshipping some different Surya, he is great. Like we compete, but there is no competition between the demigods. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, it was mentioned, 7.21. It was mentioned. Krishna is mentioning, I am in everyone's heart as super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigods, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. So, Krishna is increasing our faith. If you are in the process of worshipping demigod, Krishna is enabling you to increase your faith towards the demigod worship. And not only that, in the subsequent verse it was mentioned, endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship particular demigod and obtains the desires. But in actually, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So, Krishna is saying that if you are worshipping particular Surya Dev for rain, or Varun Dev for rain, if the Varun Dev is giving the rains, that is sanctioned by Krishna. That the benediction, whatever the Varun Dev is giving, that is sanctioned by Krishna. So, this is the Krishna is there. When if you are worshipping Krishna, Krishna is helping us to worshipping Krishna, worshipping demigod. But the reason why, the hope is that down the line you will get association with the devotees and you will become a devotee. That is the ultimate object Krishna was expecting. But if you are still stuck at the demigod worship level, you are not moving ahead, then that is not expected thing, that is not Krishna wanted. So, if you, in the initial level, based on your your circumstances, your situation, you may be starting the demigod worship. But down the line, once you reach particular stage, by the mercy of Krishna, when you get a devotees association, you will be moving into the next level, worshipping Krishna, and to become a devotee of Krishna. That is what Krishna is expecting. For that reason, he created this system, demigod worship. So, this is all I have today to discuss about these two verses. These are very small purports, but yeah, we try to discuss few things. Any comments, any questions? Yes, Prabhu. Narakloka is like as we know, whatever sinful activities we do, it will be, you will get punishment. Pitraloka means, I think I remember last time also we discussed briefly, the Pitraloka, some of the Pitrus will be there, they will be residing in that planet, but we need to offer the food and everything. So when they will be taking that much I know. But if anyone has any, it's not like a Narakaloka to get the punishment. It is a different planet altogether. It's different from Narakaloka. Yes, Prabhu.
Just going by what you have said, we say that to the demigods and the denizens of the higher planetary systems, do they have higher consciousness and intelligence in regards to the advent of the Lord? For example, in this case, not couple of them. Do they have advanced information? Do they have intelligence?
Yes, they have the knowledge. That's why by seeing these prayers, we can see that if it's as a normal person, if you are not a devotional, you will not be having these many details. When you are offering the prayers, you will not be able to all such you are the absolute truth, your form is, you are having the form, and worshipping your lotus feet is the only way to. So these details, only if you have a proper knowledge, you are a devotee, then only you will get it, right? So see, if you take a particular demigod, we are not taking as a specific to one particular demigod. In this purport, it is generalizing, the general. So, general comment is that all the demigods are having this level of knowledge. Maybe there will be some exceptions, variations, depending on particular demigod. We don't have any of those details. But in general, that is the position of the demigod. Mm-hmm. See, if you see the Srimad Bhagavatam has the 10 topics. Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Utti, Manvantara, right? Those are the various topics. As part of that, yeah, all these things will be covered. But the main subject matter from the Srimad Bhagavatam is those 10 areas. So as part of the, when he is explaining, the creation he will be explaining. Creation is material world, spiritual, everything he was explaining, right? Similarly, secondary creation and the Krishna's incarnation. So there is one of the topic is Krishna's appearance is there, right? As part of that, he will be explaining all, in the Bhagavatam is describing all those details. But not just only that. These are the 10 areas Bhagavatam addresses. Yes. Any other questions? Okay. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.